U.S. companies that kept their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies are freaking thriving. Put it up, full mass. Isn't that something? Conservative backlash that was supposed to squash the DEI movement actually looks like it made woke businesses, I use woke loosely, even stronger. Okay. U.S. firms that kept DEI policies despite go woke, go broke threats have thrived. January 2025, Donald Trump delivered a death knell, ending DEI within the federal government with executive orders, not a law, a policy for the federal government, threatening to target companies that still supported it. Once again, not a law, a threat. Companies including Google, Goldman Sachs, McDonald's, and Walmart that had embraced DEI years earlier fell into line and announced an end to their policies. Before I get into this data, I want to remind everyone, once again, these companies rolled over. They got lawyers, fight it in court. It's unconstitutional. They have lobbyists, lobby for a nuanced bill that supports the framework of cultural inclusion. No, Trump said we're just going to do it. But new research published on Friday and shared exclusively with The Guardian found that companies that resisted the pressure and kept their DEI practices, including Costco, Apple, and Delta Airlines, performed just as well as their competitors who pulled back. For the research, Jacob Grumbach, an associate professor at the University of California, Berkeley, Berkeley's Goldman School of Public Policy, analyzed how S&P 500 companies fared after Trump's January executive order. He used what economists defined as, quote, abnormal returns, the difference between how a stock was expected to perform versus how it actually performed, to isolate the impact of a company's DEI decision. So here's the data, put it up. Firms that kept their DEI policies or voted down anti-DEI shareholder resolutions did just as well financially even after Trump's executive order as firms that didn't. In the days after the executive orders were signed, companies that kept their DEI policies actually performed better on the stock market than those that did not. The Go Woke, Go Broke movement found its power in 2023 when a series of conservative backlashes against companies gained momentum. Bud Light sales dropped following a conservative boycott after the beer company featured the transgender influencer. Target became an embodiment of his name after fury erupted over its Pride Month merchandise and promise to Black community. Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, embarked on a prolonged fight with Disney after the company vocally opposed the state's Don't Say Gay bill. Cracker Barrel has fallen, a conservative group wrote after the restaurant chain celebrated Pride Month on social media. After Trump's executive orders, companies had to weigh the risk. Many quietly scrapped the DEI promises they made after the murder of George Floyd and the racial reckoning it inspired. Some ended up facing a reverse backlash. The Twin Cities Pride Parade dropped Target, which is based in Minneapolis, as a sponsor after the company withdrew some of its DEI policy. Quote, no matter how we measure DEI in companies, we find the same answer, he said. Holding on to DEI promises ultimately had no impact on financial performance. Grumbach said the implications go beyond DEI and illustrates how organizations fare after resisting authoritarian policies. Quote, what happens when you don't comply with the executive branch pressure in a moment of great fear in these civil society organizations? This shows that large U.S. corporations really do have leeway and the ability to sort of do non-compliance to executive branch pressure and end up fine. Once again, stock prices higher for companies that retain their DEI policy.